Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the 2023 Diageo Special Release, the Singleton 14-year-old, the Silken Gown. I don't know. They hit the floor.
Yeah, I'm worried about this one, gentlemen. I'm worried that it's not going to be good.
I've never had anything from Singleton that was bad. I've just never
had
had
something like the 18 that wasn't.
Oh, no, none of the special releases have been bad. They're just not usually special.
I'm very scared.
And I don't know which distillery this is from because, as you know, Singleton's they have like 3 different distilleries that produce it, and I haven't really researched. This is finished in a Chardonnay, which is and French oak cask.
The nose isn't terrible.
It comes in at 55% ABV.
Yeah. The nose is not terrible. I'm not saying it's amazing or anything, but
you get that white wine instantly, don't
sure,
you?
Yeah.
But yet it's got something behind it. What is that?
I mean, you could say white grape. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
But there is
There's a sweetness though, like a richer
it's like
sweetness.
a sticky apple orchard, like grape.
Apple orchard for sure.
Apples.
You're right. There's some grapes. Well,
Like,
of
and
course,
it seems
there's
like
grapes.
sticky.
It's on Chardonnay.
Right,
It's
yeah.
Chardonnay.
It's
of
sticky.
course.
but you're getting that sticky wine.
I get those. I mean, the white grape is there,
I actually I like that now.
No, it's
I really didn't think.
and there's a little bit of like a toasted, like mellow something here, just very light.
it makes the 55% alcohol feel effortless to nose.
I get no alcohol, like offensive notes
That's
at
what
all.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell me this was 43%, I'd believe you.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of that.
I'm not getting a ton of flavors.
It's not super complicated.
Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward malt. I don't understand what the Silken Gown's about.
And on the last one, we didn't even mention the weird name, which was something about kite. I mean, I think it's really just the artist decided to put a gown here, and there we are.
There we go.
I mean, it's
still whiskey.
so. I don't know if
Were the French oak cask like virgin or were they in bourbon?
I mean,
That's a lot
we
of
don't do a lot. Of,
Curious.
French oak is very rarely used.
The
for
viewers
bourbon.
want to know. The viewers
I
want
want
to
to know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You ask good questions.
No, I don't know, but I mean, French oak and bourbon are pretty rare.
Ask a lot of questions.
No, the good way.
I mean, it could. I'm assuming that it's a French oak Chardonnay cask, so it had Chardonnay in the French oak.
You definitely get that white grapey and apple sticky orchard.
I'm not getting French oak cast. I mean, French oaks.
They're normally
more
spicier.
they're more
Way more
porous, right?
spicier,
Yeah.
like
I'm not getting
cinnamon
into that.
and just more rougher, and sometimes good notes. But
No, I'm there with you, Keith. It's pretty straightforward malt. Again, this is what I normally get from Singleton. Not bad. It's forgettable. What are you picking up on the palate, Dustin?
The French oak's coming out, boys. It's actually got a nice spiciness on the palate. It still has the apples up front.
Really?
A little bit of the grape. You get a nice little bit of
cinnamon.
toasted cinnamon. You get some spice. You get a little bit of oak notes. It's still relatively subtle, which is pretty common when you have a white wine that's been put in those French oaks. It really does suck out a lot of the initial spiciness.
there's a little buttery pastry on the palate. I mean, on the finish.
Yeah,
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I would say this. All the flavors on this are subdued to some degree. It feels like they're halved. You know what I mean? They're turned down to 50% somehow. But I think it's so you can experience the whole range. And again, very palatable. Barely feel the ABV. It's a good whiskey, but again, it's something that not really rememberable.
These Chardonnay casks, it seems like these are pretty good Chardonnay casks.
And Diageo, for all of their sins when it comes to these special releases, generally do source some pretty darn good casks. And on top of that, the Singleton has always been a simple malt, not a super exciting malt. But you're getting an amped up version of Singleton, which is simple, easy drinker. If you're a Singleton fan and you think, I'd like a little bit more oomph, I mean, this is it. Also, they generally don't charge a lot for these. I don't know what the price on this one's going to be, but it will be, for the age, the cheapest.
It's not an amazing whiskey,
Serious.
but I will say, I enjoyed this more than I thought it was going to with this really good Chardonnay cask.
Yeah, the Singletons and the Diageo Special Releases, it's usually one of the more affordable releases every year. All right, guys.
Water actually really bumped it up a little notch here. Brought out a lot more of that grape. Brought out a hint of like a fluffy marshmallow that's been toasted.
I could go there with you.
Yeah, there is a charcoal, maybe not charcoal, no, but a heavy toasted note in the background with water.
I actually think this is actually a really decent whiskey. I mean, it's dare I say it, this is actually really tasty. If you're not a Singleton fan, this is not going to be a disappointment even. Because again, these aren't super expensive.
Well, Dustin,
I'm surprised.
yeah, we're as far as a whiskey score.
Yeah, I'm going to give this an 87, Mike. I think it's $120 whiskey.
I am right there with you. I'm totally at an 87 on this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree.
Really
I mean,
solid.
it's a good whiskey. It's a bit simple.
Yeah.
It's a bit, you know, I mean, I'm not going to remember this with all the whiskeys that we're going to try today, but I mean, it's a solid offering. It just needs a hook.
You could easily just sit back and go through half a bottle of this over a weekend, just kind of sitting around with some friends.
Yeah,
and just
it'll
sort of
treat you right.
Since I crapped on Singleton at the beginning,
Yeah, where are you at?
and I was pretty close to an 87 as well. That's what I was thinking. But I think I'm going to bump it to 88 just for the fact that they use really good Chardonnay cask, man. They
really
actually
did.
got some good Chardonnay cask.
I can tell what they were trying to go for with the wine cask. You know, other whiskeys have done this, and they pulled it off fairly well.
did.
I love the fact that you get in the mid palate a really nice spice that usually you only get on the finish on these types of whiskeys, where it's part of like the oak tannins kind of as they linger. I like that you get it mid palate. I really enjoy that.
It's good whiskey, a bit boring. Anyway, those are our thoughts on the whiskey. We're all kind of in the same range here. Good medium style whiskey. If you guys had a chance to try it, let us know what you guys think. Dustin, until next time, what do we wish the folks?
Happy drinking with an extra friend.
We'll see you then.